Well, I think it's time for the Saga of the Saber of Norwich. So this piece was commissioned probably a year and a half, 2 years ago now. I don't know. Time is not making a lot of sense to me anymore because I've just been squirreled away while the world has gone mad. And kind of enjoying some aspects of it, if I'm totally honest. But this piece, right before that, it was the summer before they commissioned the blade, and they wanted it in the fall. And I committed an unpardonable smithing sin, I must confess. Comrades, colleagues, I undercharged. And I told them, I said, hey guys, super sorry. I know you told me you have millions of dollars to spend on this bicentennial. But if you want this now, you need to give me more money because I got bills to pay. And I never heard back from them. There's been some odd communication issues. It finally turned out that it seemed like some of my emails were getting blocked. But that's neither here nor there. COVID hit. And my bread and butter went out the window. If no one's getting married, because no one can have weddings, no one's buying wedding rings. And that business has not recovered to this day. Which I have mixed feelings about. I mean, it wasn't my passion, but it was really steady income. And for the right customers, and I have to admit, there have been a few wonderful wedding band customers. In particular, when I get to take old rings and melt them down and use old stones from someone's, great grandmother, and rework them into wedding bands. And it's actually satisfying when I have those moments, but that's not a thing for any foreseeable future. It's a good thing I live in a place, and I've always stuck here because I thought it would be a good idea to stay here, where I can do things like grow food and have bees and have chickens, and I really took care of a lot of my own needs that way. But I have a lot of that cleared. Everything's cleared off my plate right now, so I can finally focus almost all my attention on finishing this piece up. So the original was actually owned by the guy who founded the school, named Alden Partridge. There's engravings of him with it, and they have it in their collection. So I got to measure it and look at it and notice really cool details, like for whatever reason, whether it was bloomery or I think pig iron does this too. I think you have to refine it to the same degree to get the raw. You get there was a really nice, almost Damascus pattern in it if you got the light going just right, which actually the curators hadn't noticed. So that was a fun smithy detail. So I have a really, really nice wood grain pattern along the spine and a homogeneous edge, kind of like my little Viking take on the whole thing. Because they gave me a lot of artistic leeway to reimagine their sword, which is kind of cool. They're going to use it for, opening and closing of the school ceremonies and things like that. Before it was finished, it was just a block. I hadn't ground it down yet. I had heat treated it, but it was still basically in a square form. And I etched it and put a wooden handle on it, and they used it for a couple ceremonies. But owing to the fact that they never got back to me on that, I decided, well, okay, I'm gonna work on it when I can and consider it sort of a legacy piece. Hopefully, in another couple 100 years, someone else gets to make an inspired by my piece. And that's the value of the piece for me right now. I get to leave a legacy here in Vermont, right over the mountain. I get to be the crazy obstinate smith that took forever to make it. But I'm going to make it as cool as I can because, it's not about money at this point at all. So you may have noticed me taking my time, and that's exactly why, because at this point I'm just going to make it really awesome and not cut any corners. So here we are. The original had a hilt that looked like it was cast in bronze, probably in about 3 pieces, the cross guard and then the upper portion of the hilt there. It did have also a little shield piece, just like that, that removes, kind of jiggles on the original. It's kind of funny. Looks like it's gold plated. Would be cool to find out if it's mercury amalgam gilded. It looks sort of like it is, but I don't know how common that is in what they called Massachusetts at the time. We just know it was made in Massachusetts. Now, that was almost all of New England at the time. Vermont was thereabouts, actually kind of at war with both Massachusetts and New York, and a little bit of Quebec as well. It's a fun little piece of history. Vermont was a nation for about 10 or 11 years, minted our own money, the whole 9 yards, while we were sort of hedging our bets upon entry to the Union, which is a thing about Vermont that I actually like. And I'll put a few little details in the piece to sort of pay homage to that. We'll see if they notice. But I don't have the casting ability to do pieces quite that big, so I have broken it down into component parts that will be cast and then reassembled, probably soldered together in places so I can blend things in, and then I'll gold plate it. Again, I don't have the facility to gold plate it in its entirety without an awful lot of crazy labor with my little pen plater, but I'll probably send it off and have it professionally plated. So the original was pretty traditional eagle form at the time with these eagle and shield motifs. It looks like really, really revolutionary Americana. And it's fun. I've never done a piece like this, so it's been really interesting getting into it. It assembles like so. The original does have an eagle kind of perched on the crossguard. That's the thing I like about it. And this little shield guy. On the original, a hollow space, probably to lighten the hilt and aid in casting, would be my guess, just like I'm doing. It's kind of neat to follow in the footsteps of some unknown artisan. The original also has a hat. I don't know why he's got a hat. Is he an eagle? Is he a falcon? Is he a rogue cockatoo? I don't know. So I've got all the form finished up, and now I'm doing the texture. You can see I'm carving in these feathers. So kind of fun. I'm going to blend in, on the original, this backside had another shield. I'm going to blend that into tail feathers and hopefully seal that gap. Again, solder that, or at least blend it in very carefully. And there's all kinds of stars and bars going to go on it. I am going to sneak in the star arrangement of the original Green Mountain Boys flag of Vermont, just to be like that. See if anyone says anything. I had actually inquired all over the place at Norwich, are there any cool secret societies that have any kind of more esoteric symbolism I can put on the piece? And alas, they have apparently done away with all such wonderful and intriguing aspects of the university. Such is the way of things these days. Well, this is where I'm at, and I'll do some more videos as I go. Maybe I'll talk about carving techniques. But I'm going to try and do a lot more video stuff like this and see where that gets me. I don't know. I have really mixed feelings about it because I have about a 20% extroverted side. And you may have seen that on Arctic Fire, like, yeah, I got that. Like, I can be like the crazy smithy guy. But the rest of me, and increasingly so these days, really doesn't want to talk to people. Social media is a real struggle for me right now. Oh, people. Crazy world. Anyway, it's going to be a nice sword. I'll put more videos up as I go.